Hey guys, welcome to part 1 of my Italy vlog. We started off by flying into Italy's capital, Rome, staying there for about 5 days before heading off to Florence and Venice. This was my family's first time in Italy, and we were all really excited to be there despite the hot weather and busy tourist season. Throughout the next 5 days, we would slowly discover bits and pieces of Rome, including the many food, shopping, and tourist attractions around the city. However, fair warning, I did film this entire vlog on my Nikon Coolpix digital camera, which, although takes incredible photos, does not produce the best quality videos, which I found out after watching these clips back. However, despite my shaky camera, I did try to capture the trip as best as I could. So here is 5 days in Rome, Italy through my eyes. We started off by having our first dinner by the Tiber River, where we got sangrias, pizza, and lasagna. Yum yum. Our hotel accommodation was in Trastevere, which was very lively and had a great amount of restaurants to explore. The following morning we woke up bright and early, partially because of jet lag and partially because we had a lot of touristy things to do that day. We got to the Colosseum around 10:40ish, and by then the crowds had already formed and were kind of crazy. So we didn't end up booking a tour, but instead explored the outside of the Colosseum for a bit. It's like 30 degrees, and it's 10 in the morning. Eventually we found ourselves in a church at the top of a hill, trying to cool down, as did a lot of people on this very hot day. I want to say it was like 35 degrees or something. Oh my god. And here's my mom's failed attempt at drinking out of one of the water fountains. It's so hard to operate. We explored the streets for a bit and got lost on our way to the Trevi Fountain. Instead ending up in a McDonald's, actually, right outside the Trevi Fountain, making our very first lunch in Italy, McDonald's. Here at McDonald's? But we did actually end up finding out that they had macaroons on their menu, which was kind of cool, but only 3 flavors, so we tried them all. After lunch, we made our way to the shopping area, where I went to Brandy Melville and picked up a couple pieces. Then visited the Spanish Steps, where we climbed all the way to the top, took a couple photos, and walked around a bit some more. This is Spanish Steps. Careful. Oh, there's a lot of ice cream on the ground. And as you could see by this point, I was a little bit tired and sweating a lot. In another attempt to cool down, we went to the church at the top of the Spanish Steps and sat down for a while my mom looked around, because she really loves churches. Our next stop of the day was the Pantheon, which was another destination that my mother really wanted to go to, but we couldn't stop without getting ice cream first, especially for me and my dad, who aren't as huge fans of the typical tourist destinations as my mom is. up going home, getting changed at our Airbnb, and then walking over to Trastevere to find a restaurant. I got a carbonara pasta, and this was the restaurant where we ate the best caprese salad that we had the entire trip. But the best part of the night, I'd have to say, was when they came out with free limoncello shots for all of us. The next day we spent exploring the neighborhood of Testaccio, which is a lesser known neighborhood but more of an area where locals live and shop. We ended up finding ourselves in the Testaccio market, where we explored the many vendors, including handbags, leather, clothing, as well as the many food options. We had lunch at this pasta place where I got pesto pasta and a peach tea, which would later become my drink of the trip, and my mom got a carbonara. And then we walked for a while to this place at the top of a hill where apparently it was a very famous spot to get a view of St. Peter's Basilica through a very tiny peephole, which was honestly a very unique view of the basilica, and it made for a really cool photo op, honestly. And then we ended up kind of just chilling at this park, where we also got quite a nice few photos and a really great view of the city. We're trying to catch the sunset at 8:20, but I don't know if we will. It's a long stretch. Yeah. We did end up catching the sunset at the very top of the hill with a very lovely view of the city, and it was super, super pretty. We're gonna get dinner now. It is 8:39. I think we're just gonna get something in our neighborhood. On the walk down, we stumbled upon this restaurant called Rion 13 and decided to sit down because it was getting late and we were tired and hungry. The three of us shared an appetizer, but I don't really remember what it was, and my entree I got ravioli, and my parents both got a pizza. For breakfast the next day, we ended up going to a cafe just under our Airbnb apartment and got croissants and coffee. Our first stop of the day was the Vatican Museum, which my mom had booked tickets for in advance, or else we never would have made it inside because of the huge lineup. We all had listening guides in our ears, so it was cool to hear about the history of the Vatican, but to be honest, I wasn't paying too much attention to the history lesson because honestly, I was more focused on looking around at the interior and exterior designs and details. We went outside to the gardens, which was really pretty. And then there's the really famous golden roof hallway inside St. Peter's Basilica. The detail of the roof was so incredible to see. I don't know if there's a specific name for the hallway, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Then we found a restaurant really nearby to the Vatican and St. Peter's Basilica because we were all kind of just starving at that point because the tour was a couple hours long and all we really had for breakfast was pastries that day. On the way home, near our Airbnb, we found this gelato place, which became our go-to for the rest of our days there. And someone said any gelato place with closed containers is the way to go, so highly recommend. And that night, none of us were really hungry, so we just stayed at home and made a little salad because I hate to say it, but at that point in our trip, we were getting a little bit sick of all the carbs, pasta, and bread every single night. The next morning was really hot, as you can see by my face, but we were determined to make the most out of our last day in the city. So we made a quick pit stop to get some pizza, panini, and some fruit before heading over to Two Sizes, which was a tiramisu place that only serves 2 sizes of tiramisu, but had a variety of flavors to choose from. I got the original, Mom got pistachio, and my dad got a cannoli. My parents didn't really love what they got, but I think it was worth it, and I highly recommend just getting the original because it's what they do best. Too fast? The rest of the day we kind of just spent wandering and walking around the streets of Rome, stumbling upon a couple art stores and little markets and food stands, and basically just going with the flow and seeing where the day took us. We bought a couple dried fruits at this little market for our train ride to Florence the next day. And again, of course, stopped by for gelato on our way home at the place we went to the day before. For our last dinner in Rome, we ate at this restaurant called La Canonica, and I don't know if it was because we were all really hungry or it was just really that good, but it was probably the best meal we had in Rome. And there you have it, our 5 days in Rome, Italy. Thanks for watching, and see you in Florence.